Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Oh, it's 3:33 on the clock as I look over. Today is Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. Hope everyone's doing well. I had to break out my big ring light and put it up, so I don't know. I just felt compelled today to break it out. I really wanted to use my gold cards, and something was just like, you got to get the big light out today, because I know it gets so dark down here whenever I use these cards. So hopefully it makes a difference. I can't really tell quite yet looking on the camera or on the phone if it is, but here's hoping, right? But as I was pre-shuffling, I was getting this sense that, the cards are wild. They were being wild. They were falling all over the place, spilling out, falling on the floor, and they are a bit slippery, but today it seemed to be a bit more than usual. And I was getting the sense that something really wants to be, some information really wants to be released, exposed. And now my incense went out. So many distractions. It's like something really wants to be exposed, or wants to be revealed, I guess is the better word, revealed. But there's so much resistance against it, and it's going to be revealed no matter what. That's the spoiler alert, because it just in the intensity of the cards and things like that, and the cards that were coming up, the Ace of Swords being one of them continuously. It's like a truth is going to be revealed no matter what. But boy, if it's not being resisted, I don't know what is. Like, even to the point of, as soon as I decide I'm going to get on here, the landscapers come by with their leaf blowers and start blowing. You might even hear them. And the light was up and then it fell down, which could happen again. So just bear with me if so. And just a few things. Now the incense going out. My son was ultra loud on his VR, and I had to go pipe him down a bit. So many things. And I don't know if what wants to be revealed will be so in this message, but I will say, just keep your ears open and your eyes peeled, because there's some information that is making its way to your consciousness one way or another. It by come hell or high water, it's going to get there. All right, so let's see what we got. All right, I don't even think I cut the cards, did I can't remember, so I'll just cut one more time just for good measure. Alrighty, 3:36 now on the clock. Let's see what we got. King of Wands. Okay. We know that's an unstoppable force right there. What's up with the King of Wands? Ooh, this slid out in reverse. I really shouldn't take reversals, but I'm going to, because I don't know, it just is fair. But the way these cards are slippery, there's bound to be some twisting around when they hit the table. But I'll take it in reverse for good measure. So we got something of the past. Let me see what else. First of all, what's the King of Wands looking at? I just want to see where it's always important to know what the King is looking at, because where his attention flows is where manifestation goes. Whatever that saying is. Let's see. Oh, at the King of Cups. What type of face-off is this? Or is, Interesting. Let's see. What's between them two? What business they got? Maybe something being rectified from the past in the present. Like an old business, unfinished business. Let me see. What's between these two? Oh. The Five of Cups. It's a card of grief, but I heard beef. Like, what type of beef or grief? Let's say some type of beef or grief from the past. Grievance. Let me say. Three of Wands. I don't know, but I'm getting like whatever the confrontation is, like it's expected. Like it was all like some type of face-off maybe that has been foretold or prophesied or predicted. Like this is something that is expected to happen or would be. Why something else is, what else is expected? Feels, I mean it is, but there's another word that I feel in my spirit. Inevitable, maybe that's it. Let's see, inevitable maybe, or unavoidable. Some type of confrontation or face-off is unavoidable on account of a grievance from the past. And I'm getting with that five that changed everything. I'm hearing righteous indignation. So it's like this is a justified beef. Like somebody has a bone to pick. I'm getting that it's the King of Wands with the King of Cups. Like the King of Wands has some type of grievance to address with the King of Cups from the past, perhaps, but it being something that either had caused a great effect in the present or has had lingering effects that, you know, maybe the King of Swords with the Six of Cups is like maybe it was something that was premature to address at the time of the infraction, but now time has passed, people have grown, they are two kings, you know, so maybe there is some expectation that the grievance can be addressed maturely, you know, honorably. I don't know. Let's see. It could even be about a love, like a breakup or some type of past love situation with the Six of Cups in reverse, or unrequited love that somebody expected or you know, had felt particularly entitled to or possessive of maybe, and there was some type of love lost here with the Five of Cups. Yeah, like I'm getting that sense of entitlement under the King of Cups where maybe they felt like they were the rightful choice or partner or prospect for something. It could be a partnership or it could be a position, it could be a situation, whatever, but they felt an entitlement, like an expectation to fulfill a certain role or position. And the King of Wands disrupted that, you know, like that process, or disrupted that program or something like that. Oh, shoot. But what the Six of Cups in reverse is saying to me, as I said, like something was inevitable, like it wasn't really destined to be. It might have been something of the past, but it wasn't destined to carry on forevermore, or at least for the future. It's like somebody feeling like they call dibs or state claim to some type of partnership because they were there first, or they were, I had her first, or I saw her first, or I liked her first, to put it real, simple. But it's an unrequited situation here. Like, you can't call dibs and be possessive over something that you don't have any right to be so. Like, especially if it's not the feeling is not mutual or reciprocated, or the situation is not conducive for your occupation or whatever we're even talking about here. It's like you can't do that. Like, I don't know what to say. It's like somebody trying to pull rank. Like I said, I had her first, or I was there first. And King of Wands is like, and I'm here now type energy. All right, let me see. What else? Or she chose me type of thing, or, or I'm the better man. It's like I said, it's some type of face-off. Or let's leave it up to her to decide, or for the situation to choose who's the better choice, or who's the better man, or whatever, or the man for the job, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, well, there was a choice. Yeah, look at this, Eight of Pentacles, but up under the King of Wands. It's like the King of Cups may have had some type of expectation or a feeling of entitlement to something, but the King of Cups did. But the King of Wands is who has put in the work, though. It's like the King of Cups thinking that they should be entitled to a Six of Cups partnership simply because they got a cup in their hand. Like, you don't even have a cup. This is a cup situation, not a wand situation. But it's like, that wasn't real. That's not the criteria here. It's about who's going to do the work to just be the best man that they can be. And it is given that, for what it's worth here, the King of Wands was dedicated to the cause. All right, let's see what else. Let's go back up to with the Six of Cups. And with the Eight of Pentacles, it's like not just dedicated or devoted, but doing it with joy is the Eight of Pentacles. Like, you take a certain pleasure in the work, even if it's hard, even if it's long, it's grueling hours, it's hard labor. It's like you value the end result, or the prize, or even the process that much that none of that matters. You just put your head down and do the work. That deserves a different recognition or reward than somebody that would, just feel like they could sit back and have it all come to them, or be brought to them on a silver platter, or on a golden chalice, so to speak. And yeah, it's giving sore loser energy, and that's why this confrontation is inevitable, because somebody that wouldn't be willing to get active in the best way that they possibly can to achieve something or attain something, and feels like, they're just the natural choice, would kind of have their bubble busted. First of all, that exemplifies their character to begin with, and the disparity between the two. But then, it also foreshadows how they might actually handle that loss, whatever it is, you know, like just the pride and ego of it all, if nothing else, might provoke them to be confrontational or to push back or be resistant or something like that, when it's like, dude, I won fair and square, or you lost fair and square, and let's just call it what it is. But it's just could never be that simple when you're dealing with an energy like that. Four of Pentacles. Yeah, like this is definitely giving like somebody holding on to the past, to a past that's irrelevant now. Let me get some more under that. Ooh, the Star. Well, I understand that then. They feel like it's their destiny, or they thought it was. They either felt like something was their destiny or someone was a part of their destiny. And that could have been the reason for kind of like the entitlement or complacency, like, oh, I got that in the bag. Like this partnership was, we've been doing this for lifetimes type of energy. Why should anything be any different? Or we've been doing this for years, like for decades. We got kids together or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we might break up, but she always finds her way back to me, or he always takes me back, or whatever. And somebody thought that cycle would, you know, regenerate, and to their surprise, it's like, no, there's a new sheriff in town. Like maybe thinking somebody couldn't do any better than them, so where would they go? And then we got the Seven of Pentacles. But once again, having to consider, what did you invest to assure the quality of this partnership, or to assure that your spot was secure? Maybe somebody now having to take inventory, honest inventory. Is either that, or again, them really feeling like they did, you know, they have put in too much work to be denied, or to be rejected, or whatever the case may be. Like they put in too much effort, too much labor. Just, I mean, whether they did or not, that just might be what they think. And it could even be the disparity again between the two energies, where one was just holding on to the past like it belonged, like it belonged to them even in the present or the future, and the other, you know, literally did take inventory and say, all right, well, what do I have to work with? What do I have to work on? I'm even here, like what do I need? What do I have at hand that's working for me? And what do I need to, how do I need to grow? How do I need to build or sow for the future, plan for the future? What am I lacking? What, you know, do I have an abundance of? Like somebody was honest with this. Is very interesting. What's that? Is that a book or a story? A tale of two, it's like a tale of two cities, or a tale of something. Let me just see what that is real quick, because that's on my mind. I think it's like, is that Edgar Allan Poe? It sounds like something classical. Let me see. Oh yeah, Two Cities. Oh, Charles Dickens. Okay. Charles Dickens. A Tale of Two Cities, a historical novel by Charles Dickens set in London before and during the French Revolution. Oh, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Of course, the famous line. The story intertwines the lives of Dr. Manette, his daughter Lucy, and the French aristocrat Charles Darnay, and the cynical lawyer Sidney Carton, exploring themes of sacrifice, resurrection, and social upheaval against the backdrop of the Reign of Terror. Oh my God, this is so funny. It culminates in a famous act of self sacrifice at the guillotine, making it one of Dickens' most popular works. Interesting. Well, I don't really know. I mean, that was pretty loaded. Yeah, but what really sticks out is it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It's like I say that a lot actually in messages, like in the best of times and the worst of times, like how people handle themselves, how they manage their resources, their energy, their choices, their potential, other people, other relationships, outside of themselves. Like all of that was more or less like the consideration for how the future would unfold, i.e., through the present moment as it is. And when you consider someone that may have felt like they had an entitlement to a particular outcome or an advantage, it kind of depicts, what I can imagine to some degree of what I just read, translating, where somebody might have thought that they had something in the bags, maybe simply on account of who they were, their status, their leverage, their come from, their resources, and then to be trumped by some other energy, or even to just be challenged, was a great blow to the ego. But even how one would manage that, as I was saying, like, do you just concede to the loss, or what? Like, how do you respond to that? Because even that has a certain resonance as well. And ultimately is telling as to why, this Six of Cups could be in reverse for one over the other, because maybe you weren't the better man, or you weren't the better choice, at least not in this regard. When we're talking about the star energy here, we're talking about high level, high frequency, answering to calling, to purpose, destiny, being being fulfillment. Well, first of all, being fulfilled, in your own right, and being someone else's wish fulfillment, or embodiment of, in some way, shape, or form. It's contrary to the Six of Cups in reverse to me, like that. That's something very unrequited and certainly not regenerated. So I don't know. Let me see. Let me get one in between here while we at it. Let's see. Charles Dickens. Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, because there's a lot on the line here. This was not just some little old situationship or casual thing. This is something to be taken seriously. This for all the marbles, for for the generational wealth of it all, for legacy, for a lifetime, perhaps, for generations to come. So it's like, it was important that, maybe in many lifetimes before, or seasons past, before what do I want to say? Like, before, like, everything mattered, you know, before something was riding, it was all riding on this one decision or one judgment call or something like that, or one pivotal moment of choice. It was okay to keep circling, you know, cycling a particular experience over and over again. There goes the damn car alarm again. It's so distracting. But there's too much on the line and at too great of a value for, like, it matters who gets entrusted with this 10 of Pentacles. And that could be in a partnership, that could be a position, that could be an inheritance, that could be a fortune or some particular favor, access, influence. Definitely emphasis on some type of relational dynamic, though. Just on the way I was picking it up, and the Six of Cups being in reverse, it's like the past is no longer pliable for the future. Like it's almost like, you know, practically speaking, when you consider like people that are in relationships where they keep breaking up and making up, 9 times out of 10, that's not a dynamic that's well suited for the long run. It might have its appeal when you're in a certain mindset or at a certain place in your life, or before you evolve to a certain place beyond it. But when you really consider something for the long run, longevity, that's stable and secure and prosperous, you usually not, I mean, you might, if you haven't evolved emotionally, particularly, or psychologically, you might spin the block again on something that's never shown you anything different in the past. But in an evolved state, as I was saying with the Star card, where you're very particular about the choices that you make, that wouldn't be the one. You know, you wouldn't say, you know what, maybe the 7th time is the charm. We can never seem to get it right every time we go at it, but maybe this one is it. And maybe we can finally go all the way. You might get a great distance away depending on the will and determination you have to make it work, you know, literally to force the pieces. But it probably wouldn't be a seamless journey, you know, or in many ways a very fruitful one. You know, you might just be together to be together when it's all said and done. But the 10 of Pentacles is not that card. You know, it's the whole kit and caboodle. It's not the 10 of Cups, of course, where there's the fulfillment aspect of it, but it's saying that whatever this dynamic is, this partnership or connection or commitment, is something that's built to last. So that means that the two people, that means that it can't just be one person that has the intention or the sentiment for something to be built to last. It has to be two people on the same page, you know, committed to the same outcome or ideal or, you know, experience. And maybe somebody thought that they could do just enough, you know, or just what they had to offer was enough. But, you know, sometimes we find out that there's something more, there's something better, or something more to aspire to. And you either are inspired to reach for that aspiration or you're not. But you don't get to hold your spot until you figure it out or until you get there. Yeah, that could be what this is. Like somebody wanting to kind of like save their spot, hold their place, but you ain't no save seats. That's what we used to say in school, right? No save seats, or on the bus or whatever. You either in position or you not. Ooh, ooh, okay. And it ultimately did. You saw it spin on the table, and then it ultimately did land this way, but reverse. So I'm gonna take it to be fair. Some type of third party situation. Maybe that is a revelation as well, like some other aspects to this dynamic that have never been revealed before, or that need to be revealed. This is too many, but we got the Ace of Pentacles. Ooh, not the Page of Pentacles. Maybe a child, and then the Knight of Cups. Child. Knight of Cups. It's either something that somebody did when they were younger, which is in alignment with the Six of Cups in reverse, that kind of really disqualified them in some way, shape, or form. Or it could be them literally hiding something that matters a great deal now. Like that would almost be kind of like a deal breaker now, or there being something, a part of the equation that is a deal breaker now. Like some added baggage or added, I don't know, like I'm definitely not calling kids baggage, because that would be a lot of nerve of me. But for whatever the dynamic is, it's something that wasn't accounted for before that makes all the difference now. I don't know, but that we're not even taking those, so I'll move on. But that was something, right? And I've been saying, like, it's some type of information that wants to be revealed. So it may be that somebody has some type of secret side or secret life, or there's another side of them, or it might be their shadow side altogether that they wouldn't lead with, as most of us wouldn't. But that is a deal breaker, like who somebody is psychologically at their core, maybe even their wounded child or something like that, wouldn't make for, that could be the reason why somebody wouldn't make a good partner, or like some unresolved childhood issues or something like that. Ooh, child, didn't I say these cards was messy? We got the Ten of Swords, pardon me, and then Judgment in reverse. I don't even know, honey. Judgment in reverse. I'm getting like poor judgment in the past that has led to the circumstances of whatever the deal breaker might be. Might be some type of betrayal we're talking about here. Yeah, maybe even the judgment of someone's associations. So it's like somebody trying to act like they don't know why. Maybe they do know, but they don't expect that it would be common knowledge, or that it would have ever been exposed to some degree, as to why someone wouldn't be like, what's wrong with me type of thing. Like, why not be, or why him, or whatever. And it's like, this is why, because somebody's had poor judgment in the past, maybe been lazy or entitled, or felt entitled to things that they did not justifiably earn or weren't willing to work for. Maybe that they didn't even have an actual connection to, like a sincere, devout connection to. They just want it because they want it, or they don't want anyone else to have it, or they feel like it just should be theirs if and whenever they feel like they want to have it, that type of vibe. But then to have some things plopping out that are a little bit shaky to me, in terms of maybe particularly kids, or just some extra layers to their situation. And then to have this actually come out, we got the Ten of Swords. This is unresolved issues here that someone could have on account of bad judgment calls with poor association. So it's like, that's why somebody is not an ideal match for this Ten of Cups. Ten of saying everything but the right, Ten of Pentacles dynamic, because they still got too much going on, mess that they've created from that is a derivative of their poor character, that they would ultimately be bringing into this dynamic that would potentially soil it, maybe even foil it altogether. That's why. And they may even know that, but they want to still act like, that shouldn't be a disqualifying factor or whatever. But like I was saying, something is inevitable. Like, it's not even up for debate. It's not really a matter to definitely not a matter for negotiation, but it's certainly not a matter to a point to argue, because the proof is really in the pudding as to why someone is not the obvious choice. So, yeah, I'm saying, look at this on the bottom, four of Wands. Yeah, like, somebody would bring all of their messy drama, all of their unresolved past issues, including their unresolved childhood issues, or childhood wounds, plus all the current stuff that they've created between then and now. And you would inherit that as your problem as a potential partner to someone like that. And then on top of that, you would be none the wiser, probably until it was too late. When you already signed the marriage license or certificate or whatever, you already say I do, or you already sign your name on the dotted line of the contract, make the agreement, move them into your house, agree to be exclusive, get pregnant, God forbid. Like, you wouldn't even know what you signed up for until you were already completely consumed by it, unbeknownst to you. And that's such a contrary energy to someone. Like, that's someone that actively has some bullshit going on, as opposed to someone like at the Seven of Pentacles and with the Star and the Eight of Pentacles that says, all right, what do I need to work on before I get into a relationship, before I pursue anything serious? Like, what's working well for me, what's not, what do I need to heal from, what do I need to plan for the future? Like, somebody was more dedicated to actually being the better man, not even necessarily just for the purposes of partnership, but because they truly, sincerely wanted to be a better man for themselves. Like, they wanted to be able to look themselves in the mirror and be proud of who they are. Confident, the King of Wands. Wanted to be confident in who they see in that reflection. And then, to add on to their confidence, to bring that energy to a partnership or some type of dynamic that they would have the power to impact outside of themselves. Like, it's a stark difference of integrity here, is what I'm sensing. Let me see. Let me get one more on here and then one more on top. Oh, that's too much. But there's the Ten of Cups. That's what we're talking about. There's the good old Knight of Pentacles making his way downtown. Walking fast, but not, because he ain't never rushing to pay the Knight of Pentacles. But here's the Three of Cups here, like the cause for celebration that up for someone's emergence, arrival, like somebody to finally come to themselves or emerge as the best of themselves after much time and work and dedication and labor and toil and sowing and reaping. And I think that was fireworks. It's been like random fireworks situations around here at the strangest times. The other night we had a whole show, like, who the heck is shooting off fireworks? It's not the weekend and it's not even a holiday. It was so strange, but exhilarating at the same time. Let's see. All right, let me get one more, then I'm out your way, and then, of course, one more top. Yeah, it's like somebody didn't really take this whole situation that seriously. Yeah, and the Queen of Swords is confirmative to me of the whole message. I'm going to try to move this over because I'm done here. I'm not going to do anymore. Yeah, like somebody didn't really take this situation. It's like one person took a situation very seriously, and another person had better things to do or bigger fish to fry, or like they just really felt like they had it in the bag, so they didn't need, when you think you got it, you don't feel compelled to work on it. What's there to work on when you think you the man or the woman, you're the top tier choice or the best prospect? Like I said, it's like somebody getting comfortable or complacent in a dynamic where they're used to being the optimal choice. Like, oh, she ain't going nowhere. What's she going to do better than me? Who's she going to find better than me? Or where's she going? How's he going to find? He can't do no better than me. He'll be back, type of thing. Like, so it's no real incentive or drive there for you to improve yourself, or not improve, but like enhance your qualities and evolve in all the natural ways that anyone would need to or want to, if you're serious about being the best that you can be in the situation. And again, that could be romantically, platonically, professionally, creatively. It's not limited to relationship, but that's just how it feels, yeah. Let me get one more. Wow, look at this shit, y'all. Yeah, somebody's whole world just turned upside down because what they thought it was is not what it was. When you thinking you a shoo-in for something, and then getting the news like, actually we're going to go in a different direction here. Thanks, we'll keep your application on file. Like, you just knew you killed the interview. You got all the credentials, all the qualifications, or at least though you thought, you just knew you were a shoo-in for the position. You already got your terms for negotiation ready, locked and loaded. Like, all right, when they offer this, I'm gonna come back with this and da da da. Like, got all your terms and shit already lined up. Maybe you're already spending the money you haven't even made yet, type of energy, only to find out that you're not the top choice. You're not the optimal choice after all. There's somebody more ideal, dare I say better, than you. and prove with proven skills and qualifications, not, because this would also be that one that kind of fluffed their resume, or padded it, or whatever you say, like, inflated their qualifications and their experience. But because it's so well constructed and well written, and they got the gift of gab, and they killed the interview, like I said, they just expect for it to all go over well for them anyway, even though most of it is just a big fabrication. They just expect for it to still sell. And it's like, no, the true authentic candidate here, the one who really does, even if they might not even have necessarily the best interview skills or the communication skills and say all the right things, but it's something energetically that reads more authentic, more trustworthy, more valuable in the person that has pure and authentic intentions than the one. It's like something in the person that is a bit deceitful precedes them, unbeknownst to them. Like, they don't even know how they're reading, really, and it might not even be anything that someone could detect or could put words to or finger on from the other side, the receiver end. But when you're not an authentic person, that vibration precedes you in ways that you could never manage, because naturally people are inclined to consciously and subconsciously follow their gut, how basically on how a person is truly making you feel. You would respond to that even subconsciously before you even realize how you were or why you were. And when somebody naturally just, makes you feel the opposite, makes you feel comfortable, they feel like they're trustworthy, they feel like they have a certain dedication to whatever it is that's in consideration, like you feel like you could depend on them or they would be reliable in some way, you would respond to that accordingly as well. And again, that stretches across the board all the way around, it stretches across the board is what I'm trying to say. And here is the Queen of Swords, which is, the queen of discernment, the queen of selectivity, that's going to keep it straight and is not really going to be so moved by the fluff and by the charm, so to speak, and the pomp and circumstances, the bells and whistles. Like, it's just going to be cut and dry. Like, oh, you say you have this particular skill, well, why don't you show us? We have a computer right here. Let's see how you ... And lo and behold, somebody might not be able to perform when they're under the pressure to do so, or when they're on the spot, I should say, to do so. So yeah, I don't know. But anyway, the Tower moment is just really just bringing upheaval to anything that is not sound and grounded, so that there could be room made for the thing that actually is, the person that actually is, the relationship that actually is, the job, the ideal position, the partnership, the inspiration, whatever we're talking about here. It's got to be pure or nothing at all. And those that insist on carrying this fabricated frequency of theirs will ultimately have to adapt or be eliminated. Plain and simple. Or they'll be, here's the Eight of Cups, or they will be beholden to the limitations of the frequency that they submit to, so meaning it's not, eventually, even if you were to get a position lying or presenting yourself to be someone or something that you're not, it would ultimately flop, and the truth would be revealed. It's not too much more faking it till you make it that's going to be successful in this era. You either got the goods or you don't, or you're going to go get them or you won't. Period. And you'll if you insist on not going to get them or not authenticating the persona that you project, you'll just quietly be limited to who you truly are. Nothing more. Meaning you'll get the job that truly matches the skill. With the Hermit here. Yeah, like eight of cups is exactly what I was saying earlier about that dedication to doing the work, the internal work, the inventory, the soul searching, the deep consideration, and then making the changes, the necessary changes. And sometimes that entails doing the hardest thing for humans to do sometimes, which is walking away or detaching from certain ways of being, certain ideals, certain conditionings and programs and stuff like that just, they may have worked for a time, but they just don't yield anything anymore. You know, it's like you just going to keep doing the same thing over and over, or you going to figure out an alternative method that actually does work for you. This is talking about those that did that so-called work. Hermit and Virgo energy here did that so-called work, and those that did not. This is the outcome and the reward in a very actual, practical, and material way. It will no longer just be, well, good for you, buddy. You know, like it will be the guy that did the work that gets the girl of their dreams. Really the girl of their dreams, not just, you know, the figment of their fantasies. It will be the girl that's done the work that gets the man or the partner of their dreams. And of course, it's not limited to relationship, but if we could have an ideal partnership really and truly, particularly in a relational way or in a romantic sense, most people would opt to have that level of connection when you know you're safe in it. The cause for resistance comes on account of being disappointed continuously by fakes and frauds and those that, you know, want to extract more from the partnership than they're willing to give. But this is about masculine and feminine that have paid their dues, that have done the work on themselves, that have that are committed even still to being the best that they can possibly be, and that are open to that reciprocal exchange. And it has it's no constraints on the past or even what you always thought would be the ideal future. It's about what's real and what's righteous right now. Like what truly does prove itself to be ideal in real time. Not just talking the talk, but actually walking the walk and showing, as they say in interview processes, like proven success. So anyway, I guess I'm leaving it there. Yeah, I am. Interesting, I think. I mean, it was kind of specific, but maybe not so much. Maybe it is a general thing that is in consideration now, even for existing relationships. You know, like don't let time captivate you. If something ain't right after all this time and it's not fulfilling, it's never too late to pivot and to work on yourself before you even are pressed to consider, you know, a rebound or what's next. There is no time, no length of time that can constrain you or confine you to a relationship or any type of dynamic that is not in your best interest. No element of it. I don't care about no kids. I don't care about no shared assets. Again, years in, families that are connected, your pride and ego, appearances, none of that matters if you're unhappy. So it's not just about consideration for what's new or what potential there is on the horizon. It's even about what's right now. It's especially actually about what's right now. So everybody can take some inventory in some way, shape, or form before the universe does it for you with this Tower card. All right. So anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until next time, as always, I'll leave you with peace.